Why don't we catch our breath?
Nay, I will carry on. Commencing operation! In the name of Jetling!
You mustn't push yourself too hard.
Our next operation approaches. I must prove myself by then. During our first mission, I was naught but a burden. I wish for my mind to be as well honed as this blade. Only then will my soul know peace.
Are you referring to the soldier you slayed?
My dreams have been haunted by that moment. That, however, is because I knew so little of combat. One who mourns the death of an enemy has no place in war. Because I have declared to my people that I will continue to stand at the front lines, I cannot allow my heart to falter.
They say to pity a starving, dying animal is to show great empathy. But to show great empathy means to put yourself at risk. Wild animals do not worry for other wild animals. To them, life is the never-ending struggle to survive, to find food. It's the same for us on the battlefield. There's no room for empathy.
'Tis a harsh world we live in.
Indeed it is.
From the palace terrace, everything looks black and white.
That's why you picked up the sword, Your Highness. Because you have a responsibility, both as a citizen and as royalty.
Just so.
I wouldn't want you to lose your emotional investment in all this.
Nor would I. Yet that is precisely why I worry about Anlit.
I've pored over countless records, but there is nothing on him prior to his adoption. The lack of information on him is highly unusual. Did he share anything with you during your time at the Institute?
Not at all. He never was the type to talk about his past.
Huh.
Perhaps I will ask the professor.
Professor?
Our former teacher. I am certain she would...
Your Highness! Finally, I found you. Don't you know how troublesome it is when you go out without telling me where?
She needed a quiet place to practice her swordsmanship. Can't get any training done with you bothering her. Had we told you, you would just follow along and pester us here. Like you're doing now.
Oh, hush. Now, milady. Let's return to the palace. I'll train you myself, if you please. I've wielded a sword against my nagging brother many a time, so I'm confident in my skills. In fact, I'm positive your training would go better with me.
Absolutely not. You never hold back. Or something to happen to the princess.
I never held back against you because you're my brother. If that wasn't obvious, it's no wonder you can't find love, despite sharing some of my good looks.
You two are thick as thieves, as always.
Is that how it seems?
Indeed. I already envied your kinship. But the bond you both share really is something special.
Huh.
What kind of sibling would you wish for, Princess? A kind and caring big sister? Or a rambunctious little brother?
Let me see. Either way, I certainly would be content. But if I had to choose, I'd prefer an elder brother. One on whom I could always rely. Someone like Godot, for instance.
You are too kind, Princess.
Oh, is that... Are you blushing?
We should return to headquarters. It's nearly time to discuss our next operation.
Already? I was so engaged in our practice, I suppose I lost track of the hour. Let us go then. Good day to you, Miranda.
Guess my big brother's got a soft spot after all.
Even the young individuals who would later be branded as traitors each had a place to call their home. Fried Erikson was a columnist who earned his acclaim by often contributing to famous newspapers. His provocative pieces stimulated patriotism in people and led the citizenry of Jutland toward jingoistic tendencies. Basil Sabanci inherited his adoptive father's company and factory. Through hard work, he solidified his position in the Ragnite industry and used his resources to support Jutland's forces. Violet Sand was in military intelligence, although no detailed records of her remain. She had infiltrated and gathered intel on not only the Ruzi Empire, but various other world powers all by herself. The facts surrounding her only came to light in recent years due to more in-depth investigation and research techniques. Solomon Kallenberg, a prominent member of Jutland's parliament, was said to be the brains behind the traitors. A capable and elegant man from an affluent family, his reputation was renowned in political and social circles. He thrust himself into politics, suppressed the non-radical factions of parliament, and allowed the war to continue. Amlet Gronkir's facade is well documented through his victorious achievements during the war. The young hero who led the anti-Valkyria squad. Without him, the Liberation War would not have been won. As you can see, they all have different facets. Knowing each one will bring us closer to the truth behind the traitors.
Our next mission is to seize the Ruse Viceroy office in Ipseria. The anti-Valkyria squad will provide a distraction, drawing the enemy forces away from Jutland's main army. Should the enemy barricade themselves, we'll join the main army, surround the city, and overwhelm the Viceroy's office. Either we annihilate their troops or force them to retreat. Regardless, the Ruse threat leaves Ipseria.
So we drive the Empire from their domain, placing the country back in the hands of its citizens. And then?
I don't care what comes after.
Perhaps you should. I worry for the Ipsarian people, and the long-term consequences of our victory.
We haven't won yet. You know that, right?
Of course. Though I must ask you, as a squad mate and friend, have you considered what we leave in the battle's wake?
Here we go again.
I beg your pardon?
You always get ahead of yourself.
Must you even take issue with my forethought?
In war, the only thing that matters is the enemy in front of you. Distractions lead to death. Get that through your head.
Oh, well, I never. I should say the distracted one.
Please, Princess, calm down.
Godot. My apologies. 'Twould seem I'm behaving improperly again.
Is this going to happen every time they're in the same room?
Pish-posh! Enough of this plebeian poppycock. I shan't name any names, but the fish rots from the head. Perhaps we need a new captain, a true leader, like myself.
I thought I'd never get used to seeing a lover spat, but once you get used to it, it's not so bad. I guess it's a bit like our unit's tradition.
I can see it. That's a fitting description, First Sergeant.
I swear, you two are never serious. Ew, no girl's gonna go for some mean old man. Get a clue, you two.
I rescind my previous statement. Now, let's be more serious then. You'd like that, wouldn't you, Bridget?
I don't care either way. Just do what you want.
I don't know, you still look pretty pissed. You're scrunching your face so hard it's making new forehead wrinkles. Don't come crying to me again if you can't get rid of them this time.
Wait, crying again? As in, you've watched Miss Bridget weep? Frailty, thy name is woman.
Maybe you should just drop it, Isaac.
Methinks the ladies doth protest too much.
That is all. They haven't decided when the op will commence, but count on it starting sooner than later. Prep accordingly. Dismissed.
You're quite studious. How splendid.
The response to your column's been amazing.
Well, you did a lot to promote it.
What do you say to working for us again? You're single-handedly boosting sales. I'm sure we could swing you more money if that's what you want.
Nah, the freelance life suits me.
Fair enough. If you ever change your mind, just let me know. Honestly, ever since you left, the whole paper's editorial tone has shifted slightly.
Oh yeah?
It's like no one's afraid to speak up anymore. I bet readers have noticed the change as well. Just walking down the street, I can tell things are different now. Ever since we took back Molda, the fog of Ruse's oppression has lifted.
Still, it would have been better to avoid war altogether. But since that ship's already sailed, I suppose the people who pushed for it must shoulder that responsibility.
You say that like you had a hand in it.
Of course not.
Just do what you do best. Right. We're all waiting to see what you come up with next.
The whole industry's starting to mobilize, boss.
Hell yeah!
The smart companies are getting busy. War's just an excuse.
That's good business, both for Jutland and the Ragnite biz.
Good to see you, sir.
Keep up the hard work. But try to clock out on time, yeah? Don't make your mama cry.
Yes, sir.
The war economy's coming. While everyone's rooting for us to win big, now's our chance to rake in the dough. Don't get cold feet accepting orders, got it? Competition's already heating up.
You got it, boss.
Is this really all right, Mr. President?
Don't worry so much. If we don't ride out this wave, we'll be left high and dry while our rivals are swimming in cash.
But the higher-ups in the Ragnite Manufacturing Union were opposed to the war, weren't they? They stressed that instead of agitating the Empire, we ought to focus on negotiating for fewer economic restrictions. So, won't this lead to a direct confrontation with the Union?
Even better. I can finally outplay those tight-assed coots. It'll be perfect. That said, they do got a good nose for money. Chances are, they'll support the military as soon as they smell profit. And that's when the real games begin.
I get it. Okay, Mr. President, you call the shots.
And that's that. But boss, what's our next step? Even if we take orders, we don't have enough Ragnite to fulfill them.
Leave that to our boys in battle. We keep winning, and we'll be up to our balls in blue rocks. Stick to your quotas, okay? On that note, we're gonna give the anti-Valkyria squad our full support. After all, what better advertisement could there be than an elite force kicking Roozy ass with our weapons?
The Wunderkind of Jutland's government has returned!
I'm terribly sorry for being late.
Worry not. We weren't surprised at all when the messenger informed us of the situation.
It sounds like you had quite the debate with that moderate Councilman Lindegard.
I don't think politics would make for an interesting topic at the dinner table.
Everyone wants to hear about it. We were just talking about the day you persuaded the king on the necessity of this war.
You exaggerate, sir.
No need to be humble. Many of those here once held office as well, and they'd never heard of something so counterintuitive. To think that war would be what shines a ray of hope on a closed-off country. And what happened? The gunfire at the Empire's towering base in Molda became the light that illuminated Jutland.
Lord Mankind, I understand your desire to praise your future son-in-law, but it's a letdown hearing you tell the tale. We haven't even had a toast to celebrate his return yet.
Oh, where are my manners? Please excuse me, Lord Ostrad.
Don't worry about it, Lord Mankind. In fact, I'm quite thankful for it. Solomon, would you do the honors?
Me, Father?
Don't keep everyone waiting.
Very well. At this time, I think there is only one suitable toast to give. To Jutland's victory.
That's right, to victory.
To victory!
Furthermore, I have an announcement to make.
What is it?
The hostilities have begun. With that in mind, I'd like to delay Sophia's and my wedding until after the war. Until the day Jutland seizes victory.
Solomon, what's gotten into you? Does Sophia know about this?
This is my decision, and it's the first time I've mentioned it. I'm sorry for not discussing this with you.
I had a feeling you would say that.
You talk as if this has nothing to do with you.
Father, Solomon is very hard both on himself and on others. He feels that it would not be right for only him to be happy during this time of war.
It's all right, Sophia. You don't have to go out of your way to defend me. Please excuse my selfishness. I simply wish to focus on changing this country.
Then allow me to continue.
What's the matter?
Op details are as follows. That's all. Vannergan, move out!